Hey everybody, we're going to continue the series on talking with great sales reps about the difference between what makes great selling different than okay selling. And today's skill you may think is just old school, but it's not. And I even hear experts on LinkedIn saying that this part of the sales process is no longer needed, that all people want is incredible value, solve their problem, compelling action, and hard close. Well, unfortunately, we're selling to people, which, as we know, are mammals. And we skip over this step of building rapport, of connecting as humans, as mammals. And I try and use this analogy of dogs in a park, because dogs are mammals. And each dog lives in its little home all day, either by itself or with other humans and cats and stuff, and they have to figure out their territory. But then they get taken out for a walk and they see other dogs and they're like, is this my territory or that dog's territory? And the dumb dogs bark at each other, attack each other, go crazy, get all worked up. The smart dogs just kind of like roll on their back and give the signal, hey, I'm here to play. I'm just a friendly little doggy. And as salespeople, we've got to be able to connect with strangers, to be able to show our belly, to connect as mammals and humans. And it's our responsibility, and no one teaches us this. And what does everybody start a call with? Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? How you been? Oh, my God. And the problem is that's so cliche that it no longer has any meaning, because it just initiates good in yourself, and then you're back to where you were. And then you have slang, hey, what's up? What's happening? And everybody says, yeah, what's up? What's happening? Okay, nothing's been said. It's a slight exchange of slang with no real progress. But how about if you started talking about how your day was going, how the traffic was, how even the weather, how cliche that is, how they talk about their city, their company, their role, what's going on in the industry. Things that are both common, curious, and engaging. And this may seem silly and old school where people were talking about the fish on the wall. But the reason that stuck around for 30 years is because that person put a fish on their wall, but for a reason. And maybe it was just to see if the stupid salesperson would bite on it, or they have pride of the fish. The point is not the fish. The point is commonality. The point is connecting with another person about what they care about and what you can talk about. Now, we do this all day with our friends, our family. It may be gruff. It may be slang. But typically, when they're in a bad mood, we know how to get them into a good mood. And when we go to a party, we know how to approach our friends. We might start with, what's up? But we very quickly can get to something that we care about. Hey, did you see this on Netflix? Did you read this in the news? And I'll get into what not to talk about as well. But this skill is critical because it's the very first step in building a conversation. It's an icebreaker. It's a human connection that we have to get to. Let's get into the interview. Before we do, make sure you're checking out Co-Video. Video was a crusher for me last year, and it's continuing this year. It's the way to connect. It's one of those ways of showing your personality without being weird and gimmicky, hopefully, and a way for them to connect with you and understand where you're coming from, and for you to show them something. Show them that you cared enough, that you did some research and you're talking about what they care about, and that you're bold enough to turn the camera on. But trust me, after 3 or 4 of these, the camera becomes second nature. And what you should do is maybe even turn on your computer camera just to have it on so you get used to it. Because today, screen sharing, Zoom, whatever you want to call it, is becoming critical because people want to see you. I think people are misunderstanding what's going on LinkedIn by putting text posts. Yes, LinkedIn sorts them higher than video, but no one's learning anything about you. More people are seeing it, but people aren't getting to know, like, and trust you. So video is critical. Also, pipe drive. Pipe drive's crushing it. Everybody who tries it tells me, they send me a note, they love it. You can try it for free with the Brutal Truth coupon code. Everything's in the show notes if you want to check it out. Just learn how to tap on the artwork or page up, depending on your platform. In the show notes, I got plenty of resources for you. Let's get into the interview, and I'll sum it up at the end for everybody's in the courses. Here we go. Hey, Jeff, welcome to the show. As a way of getting started, tell us about yourself.
Hi, Brian. Well, thanks for letting me on. My name's Jeff Gritton. I'm a UK Business Development Manager for Pelco, and my job is to really go around, sell the Pelco dream. So we're bringing back the blue. We're bringing back the blue, and we're going to get back to the way it should have been. We're going to get back to the way it used to be, Brian.
And what are you selling?
So we sell video management systems, our VX platform. We sell cameras. We are fully OnBIF compatible with all other OnBIF products. We integrate with various access control systems, and we've recently been bought by a company called Transom, and they're a private equity company over in America. And unlike a lot of private equity companies, these guys aren't stripping us. They're chucking loads of money at us, which is absolutely brilliant. We've got a sales team here in the UK. Tony Burns is the sales director, been with the company 12, 13 years. So, we've got some good depth. And we're not employing children, we're employing proper salespeople.
Excellent. And you've been selling for a couple of years now, huh?
Oh, God, Tony. And there's me hoping you wouldn't bring that up. So, yes, I was the first person to sell a digital recording system to the Palace of Westminster.
Yeah.
So there was the Millennium Bug in 2000, year 2000 was right about the Millennium Bug. And I sold the Palace of Westminster digital recording system at the time, £1 million.
Nice.
And it was all JPEG recording, and we were storing to DAT tape. And every 12 hours, 130 machines would spit out their DAT tape. And that was good. The good days, it was really in the days of digital recording getting off the ground. There was that graph of the VCRs going down and NVRs or DVRs coming up.
Yep.
I was there just before the graph crossed, and then I was there after it. Then I went to Havent, American company, American institution, should I say, and very successful there. I was the first sales guy there to get the President's Club award, and my wife and I got sent to Monte Carlo for 5 days, all expenses paid. Thank you very much, anybody from looking from Havent. I then went to Indigo Vision. I don't normally like to do that, swapping from a Friday to a Monday thing. On Friday, no, it's fantastic, and on Monday, look at Indigo Vision. But there was a few issues at Havent with service plans and that sort of thing, and it was a good time to move to Indigo Vision, who for years had turned around and said, we're going to put video over IP. We're going to put it over your network. And everybody would look at them and go, you must be mad. But they did. And they've been very, very successful at it. I then left and went to a company that basically digital barriers. I was very lucky to be there while the Olympics were on. Did millions and millions of pounds worth of work for digital barriers with the Olympics. I'm going to sort of skim the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, well, let's dig into kind of what we were talking about before we turned the camera on, about how sales has changed.
Yeah.
Give us your thoughts on that.
Well, back in the old days when dinosaurs roamed the world, you had, using one of your phrases, you had people going
Tell me about it.
Hold on a minute, I've only just learned to walk erect. So basically, you had this thing where people would actually take the time to go in and get to know somebody.
Yeah.
And I've come back, I've been looking at, I do a lot of networking. I've got quite a few thousand followers on LinkedIn. I've got over 20,000 followers on LinkedIn. And I look at the way people interact with people, and I go out and see things, and I look at the way people do things, and it's almost like, hello, Brian, my name's Jeff from Pelco. What are you going to give me this next quarter?
Yeah, right.
And if you're not going to give me anything, you know what? I'm going to not let the door hit me on the arse on the way out. And that's wrong. When I joined Pelco, and Tony, not blowing smoke anywhere where smoke shouldn't be blown, but Tony Burns, great guy, he said to me, Jeff, it's all about relationships. And I said, Tony, totally agree with you. It's got to be the relationship. I want to make it more than just a Pelco system, a VX, a camera. That's great. The kit's brilliant. But let's get the people going first of all. Because then, when you do make a mistake, which we all know it all happens, you've got that relationship there. I was telling you, just before we came on air, that a few weeks ago, I'm doing a presentation, and the guy says to me, Jeff, do you like dogs? And I was going, yeah, I've got a couple of dogs. He said, I've got a dog. It comes to work with me. And I thought, oh, God, I thought this, this slobbering Dax, this slobbering Doberman Pinscher was going to come running in. And this little pug came in, and I sort of tickled him under the chin. I thought, okay, that's the job done. I can get on my presentation now. As I'm giving the presentation, dog jumps up on my lap.
Yeah.
So it's all about getting to know people.
And why is that so important?
Oh.
Because I see the same thing, and I almost don't blame reps. I blame managers.
Yeah.
Because they're focusing on activity instead of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Because a relationship builds trust.
Yeah, absolutely. So a video management system is a video management system is a video management system is a video management system, yeah? And Pelco, we do what we do stuff. We do the stuff as our competition. Our competition does the same stuff as us. So it's got to be about relationships. It's got to be, do you get on with Jeff? Yes, great. Do I get on with Jeff? No. Okay, well, maybe I don't get on with him. Maybe I'll have to go somewhere else and do what I need to do. Or you can live with the business relationship, but you need to build the relationship. When I walk into a door to talk about Pelco, I'm not talking about Pelco for the first 5-10 minutes. Right. I want to get to know the person I'm talking to.
And it's not just to be nice, and it's not just to make a friend. What it does is it builds trust, which allows you to talk about what they care about and for them to believe you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because what I've seen between the good reps and the great reps, the client wants to talk with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be about an order or a problem or a new feature.
No.
And it also doesn't have to be about dogs either. It can be whatever that person cares about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was at a meeting a few weeks ago, and I said to this guy, I'm going to go and see so-and-so next week. And he gave me, and I've never met this so-and-so guy. I'd never met him in my life. And this guy gave me such an insight into what the guy was, that when I sat down with him, I could already have a bit more of an insight, because people talk to people that care. Right. And I think I often get accused of wearing my heart on my sleeve, and I do wear my heart on my sleeve, and I am passionate. And I think that is also what the sales of everywhere is missing. It's, to be in the first quarter, you've got to perform in the fourth quarter. Oh, give me a break. For goodness sake, if I performed in 3 quarters and all of a sudden I have a little bit of a bad quarter, but my pipeline for the Q1 is looking great, what is your problem, really? Yeah. So I think we need to get away from this. And one of the reasons I went to Pelco, because they've explained to me their ethos, the way they want to do things going forward, and it just sits with me so well. Yeah. They want to get the relationship going with people. They don't want to be anybody can go along with his order pad and write out, you want to buy 1,000 widgets, thank you very much.
Well, that's it. And I think a lot of people view sales as order processing or order management, and I wish it was.
Oh, God, wouldn't that be great?
I think anyone can do that, right?
Yeah.
That's not
I'm a new salesman. I'm a new salesman of the company. Where's my expense sheet? What's the holidays? And how's the commission paid? That's easy. Anybody could do it.
Yeah. Where are my orders? Where do they
where
come
are my
in?
Orders? I say to people when I joined Pelco, when I joined Havent, Indigo Vision, any company I go into, I go to the office and I say to the people in the office, in the back room if you want, I say, guys, the easiest way for me to fail is to really upset you guys. Yeah. So I'm not going to do that. And I also say to them, I probably know my clients probably better than you do. And if
Sure.
any of my clients start giving you a hard time, you let me know.
Yeah.
And it's all about that support. And I think this is one of the big things coming out of from top management at Pelco, from the CEO, my new CEO at Pelco. It's coming out. We are here to support you. We are here to help you. And that is a message that I've not heard for a long, long time.
No, usually it's just the opposite. It's like,
Yeah.
you prove to us that we didn't make a hiring mistake.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Prove to me that you've done the right thing coming in. No, hold on a minute. What? It's got to stop. That has got to stop. And I look behind me and I look over, I've been doing this like you have since the dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Yeah.
And we've been doing this a long time. And I look behind me and I don't see many people coming up.
And I think, well, first, they don't understand why it's important, because there's a lot of people saying, oh, you don't have to be liked. And it's like, well, you probably don't have to be, but if you don't, you better have something that's pretty amazing.
Yes.
That they're going to overlook disliking you.
Unicorn tears by the bottle.
Right. Because like is on a continuum. It's not binary. It's not whether I like you or don't like you. I like you to a certain extent or dislike you to a certain extent. And why not be likable so that they want to talk with you?
Yeah.
Because the number one issue I hear is, even when I get a deal started, it gets stuck and people go radio silent, meaning they won't call you back. And the reason they won't call you back is they know you just want the order. They don't enjoy talking to you.
Yeah.
And it's transactional. It's not transformational.
No.
I mean, I'm sure, you've obviously done big deals. When you do a big deal, they've got to want to talk with you.
Well, when you're spending £1 million, it's a number.
It's a leap. It's a leap of faith.
Yeah.
Right. Not only that you're telling the truth, but they're going to get the outcome that they're paying for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if there were a few issues along the way to getting that outcome, guess what? You've got the relationship. So that you can actually say, look, we've got a problem. I often say to people, if there's a single person in this room who hasn't had a problem, put your hand up. And nobody will ever put their hand up. No. Everybody has a problem. It's how you handle that problem. And having the relationship is the absolute, in my mind, the pivotal key thing.
It is. And I think it's viewed as old school, but people haven't changed that much.
No.
We talked about, if they're in market and they want to buy something, it may not matter as much. But most people are like, yeah, I could use it. Or why do I need it? Yeah. Or can I live with what I have?
Well, I think security, I've always said since sort of day one, security for me. So, security, that's basically the business I'm in. I'm in security. I'm in CCTV. I'm in video management systems. When times are bad, people want to buy, it's a distressed buy. They want to buy security to protect what they've got so they can make more money. When times are good, it's still a distressed buy, but people don't mind buying it as much because they recognise the benefits of making even more money. Yeah. So we're just hopefully getting over this Brexit thing over here, which you guys have probably been laughing at.
We haven't had much political upheaval here in the U.S. at all. It's been pretty steady state for the last couple of years.
Oh, sorry. Of course it has, Brian. What was I thinking?
Right. Everyone's very happy. Everyone's getting along well.
Steadiest driver in the world. Man's a marvel. Man's a marvel.
So how do you do this? What's your style? What's your approach? Is it try and find some commonality, like the dog example, or anything that the other person cares about?
The dog I try to find out what ticks people's boxes for a start. I don't drive around in a great big expensive flashy car. I don't go in wearing great big stupid things. I also don't drink alcohol.
Well, we've got to end this right here.
Yeah, see ya. I haven't drunk alcohol for 38 years.
But you're in the UK, aren't you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I know. How do I not? I won't say the other joke. So I haven't drunk alcohol for 38 years. And to me, that's an important thing. And I think I getting to know people and people know that they can talk to me. We can go for a night out and nothing's going to get stupid. My way that I want to do things, go in, and as someone said to me, shiny shoes, firm handshake, look them in the eye and make sure that you're telling them the truth. Legal, decent, truthful and honest.
Yeah.
And if I don't know something, I don't bullshit anybody.
Yeah.
I say to them, I'll get my technical support on the phone. I think so many sales guys are trying to be absolutely everything. When I was at Verin, I said to the guys at Verin, my job, and my job's still at Pelco, is to go into somewhere, get to know somebody, put my arm around them and go, look at all this wonderful backup I've got. Look at this fantastic team, this fantastic product. Now we can do the business. But first of all, I've got to get to like them. And I will walk. If I don't like somebody, I will walk. And I think that's probably a good thing to have happen.
Well, yeah, you should probably have a pretty good, what I call a bullshit meter, where the other person, right, is either misleading you or not being upfront or being cagey or playing you against another competitor.
Yeah.
And I think that judgment or that meter has helped me out probably more than anything.
Yes. Yeah. I love there's something you used a couple of weeks ago, but it's been around for a long time, where, you know, I can get this cheaper from other people. And I said, well, I charge people more than I'm charging, you know, I charge people more than that. And I think that's the thing. There's two parts to a deal. If something's for free and it goes wrong, please don't moan at me.
Yeah.
If I make you pay for it and it goes wrong, you've got a right to have a bit of a moan. But I think everybody's got to walk away happy.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to walk away happy. It's, you know, look at the definition of deal. Everybody's got to walk away happy. But I think the biggest thing is just walking in and getting people being known as well, doing like the networking, you know, I mean, networking events, we all both know they can be a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
So when I first joined Pelco, my boss turned around to me and said, Jeff, there's a big dinner on the 6th of December. Can you go? Yeah, of course I can. Black tie, boat, of course I can go. Then I realised it was a Friday in London. But I went and I had 3 companies on the table with me that I didn't know. I had one guy that I knew, the other 2 I didn't. And the other 2 that I didn't know, I'm seeing next week.
Yeah.
And the one that I did know is giving me business, because I explained to them the way we as a company, we as an organisation now want to go forward. And people are fed up. I know we keep going on about it, but people are fed up with this. Hello, my name's Jeff. What are you going to buy from me? No, it's going to stop. It's got to stop.
Right. And I don't know what's going to be the catalyst for it, whether it's management change or the people just get smarter, because the KPIs that people have today, make 50 calls. I would rather say, okay, spend the first half hour, drill that list down to 20.
Yeah, then put it down to 10.
Right. And who are most likely to be interested, the timing's probably right, and have something to talk about that they care about that has nothing to do with us.
Do you remember the old days when you had to go in and do a call or do a meeting and they said, you've got to bring a referral back? Do you remember those old days?
Yeah.
When they used to do that. You used to go in and see Brian, anybody else I can talk to about my network? We've got LinkedIn for that now.
Right.
LinkedIn does all that good
and you
stuff.
got on the show that way. You
exactly.
Right. You didn't hound me to be on the show. You approached me. You became known, liked, and trusted, and it became a natural evolution of our discussion online.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, which is what it's all about. I have a set of words that I give out to somebody when I'm going to try to link in with them, and it works.
Yeah.
It works because I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm trying to sell them me. You know, the biggest thing we are ever going to sell is Brian and it's Jeff. They're the biggest things we are ever going to sell. And we don't have a sell-by date. We're going on.
And I think a lot of it comes from people trying to treat the complex sale, which we are in, multiple decision makers, high dollar amount, very competitive, like a simple sale, like you're selling, a cell phone or a TV or a car, which is a single sales call, single decision maker usually for a couple. And if they don't buy that day, they don't buy from you. They go down the street or
Absolutely.
And what ends up happening is the complex sale, they have to become aware of the problem that they may not be aware of. They have to
Yeah.
become curious about how it would affect them. They have to become
Yes.
interested in it. And that
Yes.
journey requires somebody to guide them.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. I mean, I was involved in something about a year or so ago. Yeah, just about a year or so ago, and I was being snowballed. The guy was saying, "No, no." I said, "But you." I even turned around and said, "But you need this for your business."
yeah.
And I did something that I hate doing, and I went round him to his boss, and I hate doing it. And the next thing I know is I got an email off this guy saying, "Oh, you made me look really stupid." I said, "No, no, I'll now send you the email that I sent your boss, which is basically bigging you up, telling him what a fantastic job he is doing." And
Yeah.
from that, we sold him, I think, £250,000 worth of equipment. And it
Right.
just becomes that thing of, I don't like going around I don't know, Buffalo Girl it, I don't like going around the outside. But you know what? If I'm being snowballed, just because I'm nice doesn't mean I'm weak. And I think if I'm being snowballed, but because I know all the players, I make it my job to know that if I'm talking to Brian and Brian's snowballing me, actually I know who Brian's boss is. And I'm starting my relationship with Brian. And I literally linked in with this guy. I sent him a LinkedIn message, the boss, on a Saturday morning at 7:30.
Yeah.
And at quarter to 8, we were on LinkedIn, chatting on LinkedIn. And he said, "Yeah, Jeff, you need to do this and this." And that was the way you had to do it. But I think as long as you don't antagonize
Right.
and wind up and be rude or disrespectful to the person you've gone around the outside with, everything should be okay. Everything should be okay.
And how do you know when to switch the conversation or start using questions about the business, their business?
I think you can do that more. You can do that from day one. From minute one. It's, "Hello, Brian. How are you? Wow, nice." Just simple, basic stuff.
Yeah.
Nice offices. How many people work here? Bang! It just tells you immediately. In the minute you say how many people work here, they will automatically go, "Oh, I've got 6 engineers, I've got 3 salesmen, I've got 2 operations managers," and they just rattle it all out for you. And that's really good. I think it's asking. People say, ask the open questions.
Yeah.
Ask the open questions. It's people are scared of doing it. That's the trouble. Even when it comes to I want the order now. Ask it.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're meeting face to face and you're very good with LinkedIn, you can get a sense of what they care about.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Just from your big smile on LinkedIn, I'm looking at your page right now and how you
Oh,
characterized your high school. I know you're a guy who likes to laugh.
Yeah. My
Right?
high school was a war zone. It wasn't a high school. It was a
No?
war zone.
Yeah.
It was the worst years of my life.
Yeah. Same for
God,
me.
don't.
And what were some of the other epiphanies you got through your career? Clearly you were able to build rapport very quickly, get to the business issues, analyze people and get a sense of who they are. What were some of the other things that when the light turned on for you?
I think one of the biggest lessons I got when I very, very first started doing this was, you got 2 ears, 1 mouth, use accordingly. That was a big thing for me. And I actually had it written down in my case on a bit of tape because I wasn't doing it. Don't be afraid of silences.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't, if there's a silence, 2 guys can go along in a car and not talk to each other for 20 miles. 2 women can't. It's just a woman thing. So it's just
Whoa, easy.
not being sexist. It's just the way it is. So I think there's a thing I don't know. I say, I don't know that.
Yeah.
And I think this is it. It's this whole thing of, let's have a bit of a laugh selling. Let's make it fun.
Yeah.
Let's make it fun. Let's make it fun. And I think that to me is important.
Right.
It has to be fun.
And what do you say to reps that say, well, that's not my style, or I'm not humorous, or?
Well, maybe they're the guys walking around with those really, really small hands that die in sort of sweats. They also died. I mean, I think the sales is going the evolution is going complete circle now. Years ago, it used to be, "Hello, Brian. I don't wear a shirt and tie. I wear a suit. I wear a white suit. I wear a white shirt, a suit, and shoes. I don't wear a tie." People used to say to me, the only time Jeff wears a tie is if he's going to go and see the government officials on a Friday for telling off. So
Yeah.
I don't wear ties anymore. That's gone out the window. More and more people are dressing casually, which is fine. But I think we've gone full revolution now. It used to be, I care about you. Then it went, I don't really care about you. I just want to care the money because my management are telling me. I think management are starting to get it because there's a lot of companies out there now that are employing people that after 6 months, those people go.
Yeah.
Because management are still trying to flog that same animal.
Right. And our customers haven't changed. I mean, I think they're even colder because they're getting beat up so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've got this thing. What happens is the management say to me, for argument's sake, the management says to me every hour, where's that deal? Where's that deal? Where's that deal? I phone the system integrator. Where's that deal? Where's that deal? He phones his end user. Where's that deal? And it just goes round and in the end, everybody goes, you know what? No, I'm not having this anymore. And the amount of people that I'm now talking to, they are not going to have this anymore. They don't want that approach anymore. They're fed up.
That's it.
They're fed up with it.
I've kind of come up with this saying, let's make sales great again.
Yes.
Because
yeah, let's do it. You and me, Brian, against the world.
That's it. I know, because trust me, I spend half my day, helping reps, learn how companies buy and map your sales process to that.
Yes.
And then I talk to managers and they just think it's a numbers game. And I go, well, yeah, it is, but you're focused on the wrong numbers. You're trying to get all of this down to this.
Yeah.
Find out what's most likely going to happen and approach it the right way.
Absolutely. What's happened is years ago, they'd send sales guys on courses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember those? They send you on a course of, I got sent on a course of what happens if you're late to a meeting, Jeff? What happens? So basically, you turn up late, you apologise once, that's it. And at the end of it, you don't go, sorry for being late, because that's putting you on the back foot again.
Yeah.
What's happened is our clients, their management have sent them on courses to become smart buyers, but the management people of certain companies have stopped sending us on sales courses to be smart sellers. Now, Pelco have got this fantastic thing where you have to go online and have to answer questions about the company.
Yeah.
And it's really, really teaching me a lot about the company and about how it works and everything like that, which is great. Now, I've not had that for years because all the people I've worked for the last 5-6 years, all they care about is, Jeff, you're really good at what you do. You're great at business development. You can do account management and you can do all the other good stuff. Just go out and do it.
Right.
Well, what does the product actually do? Now, don't worry about that, Jeff. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's like, whoa, hold on a minute, you're kidding me. So everything's being done again properly, and that for me is the big thing. It's got to come back. Because
I've seen the focus go from, instead of increasing sales, they're focused on reducing the cost of sales.
Yes.
So they're hiring a lot of very entry level people to try and get meetings.
Yeah.
But they don't have much experience talking to other people that they don't know. Because talking to a stranger is very different than talking to somebody you know.
Oh, yes. Oh, God, absolutely, yeah.
Right? Because the onus is on us to build that rapport.
It is, absolutely. I was once said to somebody, one of my very, very first times, I said, so what do we do when we go into the room? And the guy turned around and said, look, Jeff, act as if the person you're going to go and see has got 3 heads, 16 legs, and they're pink. And in that way, when you walk in there, a normal human being, you'd automatically have that smile come on your face. Yeah. And that's what does it. People, I don't think anybody sits at school or sits at high school or sits at university and goes, I'm going to be a sales guy.
No one did.
Nobody does that. Remember that? I mean, the thing that kicked us off a couple of weeks ago, remember about there's no such thing as a born salesman. There's no such thing as a born doctor. You need to be trained. You need that experience.
Yes.
It's a catch-22 thing. How do I get experience? By being a salesman. How do I become a salesman? By being experienced. Whoa. Hold on.
That is the tragedy, because a lot of the people in the sales training space have never sold.
No.
Right. No. So they take somebody else's methodology,
yeah.
which is, and take it out of context. So people learn, spin questions, or they come up with some great insight, but rapport isn't built.
No.
The timing isn't right. They don't trust you yet, and you're trying to tell them about how their business should be run.
Yeah, and I think as well, management sort of sometimes going to go in at managing director level. Well, hold on a minute.
Top down, yeah.
Yeah, top down. No, I'd like to actually go bottom up. And there's a big thing for bottom up. If you go bottom up, everybody then becomes involved in the process. You know, if my boss, if I'm a buyer and my boss comes to me and goes, go and see Jeff and take his phone call and do this and this, I'm going to go, I'm not going to go and see him. Who do you think he is? Whereas if I go to him and go, why don't you go to your boss and introduce me on this stuff? It just all works. Yes, of course you have to go and see managing directors or chief financial officers
at the right time.
But I've got those guys in my ammunition box.
Cool.
They're my go-tos if my bottom up doesn't work. But to go top down from day one is very, shall I dare I say it, very 80s?
Yeah, well, people thought it was faster. But, you know, when I talk to executives today, they're asking everybody. They're scared to death to make a decision, waste money, you know, because nothing's worse than them spending the money and no one uses the product.
Absolutely.
Right. And they've all done it.
Oh,
right?
God, yes.
Yeah. And it's just a nightmare for them. Hey, this has been a great conversation. Where can people go to follow you?
Yeah, well, thank you, Brian. I really appreciate it. Listen, Happy New Year to you and your family and everybody else. And hopefully we might do this again sometime. Who knows? That'd be great. And how about follow you on LinkedIn? Is that the right place for people to go? Yeah, absolutely. Go to LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn. You'll see me there quite regularly. Excellent. All right. What's interesting when you talk with people who've been selling for a long time, some of the basic things become very apparent. And being able to have and start business conversations is one of them. Rapport is a critical element. I did want to warn you, stay away from the top 3 things never to talk about until you know somebody's opinion on them. Politics, religion, and sex. So stay away from those and you'll be okay. They're easy traps to fall into, especially with politics today. I hear almost everyone talk about it. The problem is you end up alienating about 50%. And even when you start engaging in it and you have similar views, it becomes very easy to all of a sudden not have similar views. Hey, to update everybody on the courses, things are going really well. What I'm offering now is I'm going to continue the current price to the end of January. The popularity of it's pretty high. So if you're interested, check them out. The one that really fits into today's conversation is start the conversation, get the meeting. This is a skill that nobody teaches. Everybody teaches us to pitch. The problem with pitching is the person listening, what they're thinking is, what is it? How does it work? Why do I need it? And what does it cost? And what they're trying to do in their mind is rationalize why they don't need it, why they can wait, why they can get by without it, or get away with something less, something they already have. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to smile and nod, and you're going to believe them. Oh, yeah, let us think about it. Get back to us in 2 years. That's what they're thinking. What we have to do is build a conversation. Now, it's not small talk. Yeah, rapport is kind of small talk, but then you start building it into what they care about, how they get rewarded, what they want out of their career, how you can help them. And people, you really want to sell the problem. The only challenge is they don't want to feel the problem. People want to ignore the problem as long as they can. Think about it, if you're not feeling well. Some people run to the doctor. Most people are like, I'll wait as long as I can. And then they wake up in the middle of the night and call an ambulance. What we need to do is future pace them. And I teach you in the course, start the conversation, get the meeting, how to build these conversations. Originally, it was just about getting meetings. But what I quickly found was that wasn't enough. People need to learn how to build conversations over time about what other people care about. Now, since I've gotten this course out there, there's a bunch of people trying to copy my strategy, people who have almost zero success in sales. And
it's a weak ripoff of the approach. What I've tried to do with the approach is have it evolve with case studies through one-on-ones and office hours. So the course is a living course. It's not like a static course that you don't get to participate in. There's a meetup every other Friday for an hour, and there's unlimited one-on-ones, which are Zoom calls applying the course to your particular situation or investigating a particular element of it. Now, all the one-on-ones and the office hours are recorded and put into the course so that everybody in the course can benefit from it. So there's an hour to 2 hours of new content every week. Never mind the stuff that's been in there since I started the course. So there's a lot of detail, a lot of examples, a lot of things you can do with it. Now, B players look at things in binary terms. I either know it or I don't know it. The problem is that's 10% of the problem. Then you got to be able to do it. And then how well you do it, that performance element that I harp on. I harp on it because that's the distinction. Because anyone can do this stuff. Anyone can read a book. Anybody can copy what other people do. But how well do they do it? What's the timing? The exact element of what that other person cares about. This is a skill. It's a skill that everyone needs at some point in their life. As salespeople, think about it. What is going to take your game to the next level? What does everybody think it is? Oh, a better territory, better customers, and a better product, and a better manager. Okay, yeah, that will help. But what do you have control over? The words that come out of your mouth, the words that you type into the computer, who you work with, who you approach, and how you approach them. How well can you build a business conversation? How well can you maintain a business conversation? Not about price, not about functionality, and not about you. See, we fall into that trap because our clients pull us in. And it's very hard not to. We have to be proactive and guide them through this journey. It's so easy to fall into the trap of what other people want. And you got to understand their motive. They don't want to spend their money. They don't want to spend their time. They do want to make their lives better, but guess what? That's effort. They don't want to take action. People just want to push a button. So that course is start the conversation, get the meeting. The other one is closing the complex sale. Now, how do you take it from that first meeting all the way through to closure? People think like, oh, I present, I demo, and then I propose. Then I negotiate and close. That's the simple sale, guys. Sorry, that's why deals go to die, is because you do not know how companies buy. And people ask me, well, what does that mean? If you don't know what that means, you need this course. Because guess what? Your deals are dying, slowing down, and becoming smaller because you don't know how companies buy, and they don't know. No company. I worked at 12 companies in my life. Under no instance did any of them want any of us spending money or changing things. And you can say, oh, well, you were in sales. It's like, yeah, I was. And then my company got bought and I got put into a management position at an Inc. 20 company. And, I had this huge team working for me. If I couldn't put it on the company credit card, I couldn't buy anything. Okay. And the company was like, if you came up with an idea, it was like, oh, we don't know. I think Joe does it over there. We couldn't figure out our comp plan. Never mind how to figure out how to buy a product. And if you think that your clients are taught how to spend the company's money, ask them. During your orientation, did they teach you how to buy products and spend the company's money? Never. Other than procurement, it's like how to issue a purchase order, how to survive an audit, not how to select a product, not how to pick a vendor. That's somebody else's job. This is what nobody teaches. And when I figured this out, it was a eureka moment. It took me 5 years before I figured this out. But once I did, it was like boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. And all of a sudden you knew when you had a real deal. You understood what it was. And people, all I hear is budget. Budget is BS. Budget's like I'm busy. No one ever had budget for anything I ever sold. Oh, line item, Brian's crap. Never had that. It never existed. You have to convince people and guide them through it because budget is BS. So go to b2brevenue.com, take a look at the courses, sign up. If you want to talk, there's a calendar link there. The point of the calendar link is solely to talk about the courses. It's not a therapy session or a career advice or a free consultation. It's to talk about the course and how it will take you to the next level. A year is going to pass, whether you do this or not. So you're just losing time. Where do you want to be a year from now? And what are you willing to do to get there? We'll see you next time. Make sure you're checking out our buddies over at CoVideo and Pipedrive. Follow the company page on LinkedIn, Brutal Truth, on LinkedIn, as well as the B2B revenue page and sales questions. I got 2 other podcasts. I'm working my butt off over here for you folks. If you like my funny videos, I store them on YouTube under Maverick Method, or just search Brian Burns Sales on YouTube. Feel free to download them and play them wherever you want. I would appreciate a like, comment, and a share, if you don't mind. I appreciate everybody who listens to the podcast, and tell at least one other rep today, a rep you care about. It's a great way to build rapport. Give them something, a reference to the best podcast out there. We'll see you next time.